Hi, I'm Jason Smart and I'm in Sofia, capital of Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a country in southeast Europe close to Romania, Greece and Turkey, and it invented the Cyrillic alphabet, and the city is now full of modern buildings, charming monuments and lots of churches, speaking of which this one is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, one of the largest Orthodox cathedrals in Europe. An interesting fact about the Orthodox religion: they have no ties to Rome and the Pope. Instead, their head is a bishop in Constantinople, Istanbul. So this behind me is the statue of Sveta Sofia, which means Saint Sophia. It was put up there in the year 2000 and it's where the statue of Lenin once stood. So this is the church of Saint Petka. So it's a medieval church discovered during excavations in World War II, and it's named after Saint Petka, the patron saint of saddlers. So I'm just heading down towards the WWII mosque, the only remaining mosque in the whole city. But I'll tell you something, it's cold in Sofia, hands are freezing. So it was built during the Ottoman period, right on top of a natural spa. So yeah, nice mosque. Lovely roof, and suddenly a flock of pigeons has just swooped down. I think people must feed them. So this building behind me used to be a bathhouse, but now it is a museum. Love the arches and the colours, unusual colours, the yellows and the greens. Look at this hot water coming out. Look at these, natural water. People are filling up the water bottles for free. Nice and warm. Natural spring water at its best. So just passing the National Opera House with a very fetching graphic there on the wall. So this is the largest synagogue in southeast Europe. Now unfortunately I can't go in because of that coronavirus, which is disrupting travel across the world. Just passing this church. Let's go in. So there's some grand buildings in downtown Sofia, including this one here, the National Assembly building, which during the past time was the former headquarters of the Communist Party. Look at this one as well. Just passing like a load of ruins from 2,000 years ago. Are they Roman? I reckon they are. Look at that, just lying about. Well, they're not quite just lying about, it's actually the Archaeological Museum, which, like all the other museums in the city, is closed due to coronavirus. So this little place of worship is the St. George Rotunda. This is actually the oldest building in Sofia, built by the Romans in the 4th century. And when the Ottomans came, they whitewashed all of the insides and turned it into a mosque. So I'm here just in time for the changing of the guard. So I'm on my way to something called the Russian Church, just passing the grandeur of the National Theatre. So Bulgaria is one of the poorest countries in the EU. I think it ties with Romania. Its workforce are the lowest paid in the EU, and in 2018 it was voted the most corrupt country in the European Union. And that corruption and organised crime as well is a major problem for the population here. They don't like it and they want things to change. So here is the Russian church, named after St. Nicholas the Miracle Maker. It was built actually on the site of the former mosque, but when the Russians expelled the Ottomans, they knocked the mosque down and they built this. Some at the memorial to the unknown soldier. At first, Bulgaria aligned themselves with the Axis powers of Germany, and Italy and Japan, but then later on in the war they decided to throw their hands in with the Allies, and that's when they invited Russia in, and Russia came and then they took over essentially, and Bulgaria became one of the Warsaw Pact countries, communist countries, and that's how it was until the 1990s. And just near it, like a flea market of sorts, where you can buy all your knickknacks. Look at all those. Hot artwork. So this is the Tsar Liberation Monument, commemorating an old Russian Tsar, Alexander II, who liberated Bulgaria from the Ottomans. And if you want to stay in a hotel that's prime position for everything, I'd recommend the Intercontinental. I'm not staying there, unfortunately. So I've come to like a park which has got an amazing Soviet monument. This is not it. This is just one of the pre-statues before the main one. Here it is. Look at that. So the proud Russian army fighting off the Ottomans. So the rain's coming down a bit heavy now. But there's a shop that you wouldn't see in England. This is a market hall. Let's go in. Souvenir shops. And what is it about Eastern Europe and their exotic meats? And arrays of sausage. So I've come on to somewhere called the Women's Market. Back in the day, women from the hills used to come down and sell their produce, their honey, maybe their fruit and vegetables, potatoes and seeds. Nowadays though, it's just a market for anybody. So I'm back near the hotel, but I hope I've given you a snapshot of what Sofia has to offer. See you next time in Kiev, Ukraine. I'm Jason Smart, and if you've liked this travel video, please click subscribe.